All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast. And for the second segment of today's show, we are going to talk about the National League MVP race. So, like I said, I was watching MLB Network again last night, and they, they were talking about, the candidates involved in that, and talking about also the meaning of most valuable player, because between baseball and between football, there should be two different awards. One of them is like the best player from the year, and the most valuable player should be like, without that player, this team wouldn't be where they are. And I understand that argument, because that's been an argument that's gone on for the last, like several years. Splitting it up into two different awards, because, last year, you look at last year, for example, with Aaron Judge and Ohtani. You take Ohtani off of the Angels and they're still a non-playoff team, but you take away Aaron Judge from the Yankees and the 62 home runs he hit, where would the Yankees be? Excuse me. They wouldn't be where they are. They wouldn't be where they were. They wouldn't have won 99 games. And you see how the Yankees have been. Well, I shouldn't say that, but Yankees needed him this year, but then he comes back, and 9-game losing streak ended up happening. But because they were talking about Luis Arraez, and if he wasn't on the Marlins would not be where they are right now, and that's why he should be considered to be an MVP for this year. And listen, he's batting well over 300. He was batting 400 at one point. Yeah, I mean, he should get some consideration at least. But you look at some of the other guys, and they play for both the Braves and the Dodgers. The main guys, obviously, are Mookie Betts and Ronald Acuna. And then you also there's some consideration with Freddie Freeman, who's having a great year. And then, of course, you have Matt Olson, who has 52 home runs and leads the league in RBIs as well with like 130 plus. So it's going to be a close race. I think at this point you would probably have to lean towards Ronald Acuna as the favorite, but it's it's close. It's close. So we're going to take a deeper dive into the stats. So obviously, Luis Arraez, in terms of batting average, he's ahead of everybody. He's at 354. Acuna's at 337. Freddie Freeman's at 333. Mookie Betts is at 310. Matt Olson's obviously the lowest on the list. Right now he's at 279. But, in terms of batting average, Arraez is going to win the batting title. But, and then you look at the other numbers. Obviously, Olson has 52 home runs. Acuna has 39. Betts has 39. Freddie Freeman has... How much does Freddie Freeman have? Freddie Freeman has 26. Arraez doesn't really have a ton of power numbers. How many home runs does he have? He has 10 home runs on the season. But, he's way below the home run list this year. And then... So then you look at RBIs, and Matt Olson has 131 right now. Betts has 103. Acuna has 100. Freddie Freeman has 94. So, and then Acuna's got 67 bases, which I did say was like the key stat. I think with that amount of stolen bases, because how much does Mookie have? Let's see. Freddie Freeman's got 20. Betts has only got 13. So, I think, and he's got the most runs scored, on base percentage. Matt Olson leads in slugging. Acuna's got a higher OPS at the moment by like .003. That's the difference between those guys. So it's very close there. He leads the league. He leads the National League in hits. He's got 206. Betts has got 171. Yeah, it's. I think right now I think Acuna is going to be the guy that's going to do it. But it's very close. It's very close. You can make the case for a lot of these guys. I think really the top three, it's it's Betts, Acuna, and Olsen. Not in that order, but those three is who you got to decide from. Because I honestly, if Matt Olson went on and hit 60 home runs, um, there's definitely a lot of consideration with that. He's having a great. I mean, he leads the league in home runs and RBIs, so he's going to get a lot of consideration based off of that. But Acuna, with the amount of stolen bases he has, and 30 plus home runs, it's probably going to end up being him that's going to win. He's close to 40, so and also he's ahead in batting average, ahead of Betts. So I think it's going to be him. Ultimately, I think it's going to be Acuna that wins the MVP. But for anybody watching this, let me know. Is there you can make the argument for some of the other guys, because it's a strong argument to be had. Because Betts is having an incredible year, Olsen's playing really well, as well. Leading the National League in RBIs and home runs, while leading both leagues. That's a strong case to be made. But I just think Acuna, close to 40 home runs, leading the league in batting, or leading the other candidates in batting average other than Arise. But I mean, maybe Arise gets some votes. I don't know. But I think Acuna leading the other guys in RBIs. He's ahead in OPS by the slimmest of margins. It's probably going to be him, and because of the stolen bases. But it's going to be close. And again, you talk about most valuable player and the meaning of that. And it's true, though. It's, valuable is like you take the player off the team, and is the team the same? No, I mean, if you take, because I think they were talking about it, if you take Matt Olson off the Braves, the Braves still where they are. I mean, they probably don't have as good of a record, but they're probably still going to win the division. And then you take Acuna off the Braves, and you have Matt Olson. It's the same thing, And look at what the Braves did a few years ago when they won the World Series a couple years ago. Acuna gets hurt. I think he tore his ACL, right? They went and they traded for Rosario, Duvall, Jock Peterson, right? And who else? Oh, and Jorge Soler. And they still ended up winning the World Series, even without Acuna. So, and, to give the Braves credit, they did a great job, and I touched upon this on a previous show as well. They went out and they traded for Matt Olson when they let Freddie Freeman go, and Matt Olson has been incredible for the Braves since they've got him. The Dodgers, you take Freeman and Betts off the team. I mean, yeah, it's going to hurt. It is. I feel like the Braves, they have more of a complete lineup than the Dodgers do. Because even if you take Matt Olson off the team, you still got Albies, you still got Austin Riley. You still got. I feel like with the Dodgers, there's like a drop off after Betts and Freeman. But the Dodgers still are a very good team. Again, having a good trade deadline. Signing J.D. Martinez was a good signing because he's been doing well for them this year. So, but yeah, it's definitely very close, and anything can happen. But I think, the stolen bases thing, I keep going back to that. That's, I think, really one of the big stats that's gonna lean in the favor of Acuna, because he's almost got 70 stolen bases. I mean, it's with that combined with almost 40 home runs, your batting average is higher, OPS by a little bit, but you're still over 1,000 with an OPS. Runs scored, hits. A lot of those boxes are checked towards Acuna, so it most likely is going to be him. But I think the other guys, you got to respect what they're doing. I mean, Arise in batting average, Olsen home runs and RBIs. Freeman's having a solid season. Betts is literally right behind Acuna in some stats. So, yeah, there's a lot of arguments you can make, but I think ultimately Acuna is going to be the one that is going to win it. And it'll be interesting to see because, when the Braves went on that run a couple of years ago, he wasn't a part of it because he was hurt. And that's something they brought up last night when I was watching MLB Network is, he's, he wants to be a part of that this year if they go all the way. And as he should. Because he got robbed of that opportunity to play in the World Series. And the Braves still won. So, got to be happy with that, but he wasn't playing. And still, I mean, the Braves did a great job. They didn't give up on the season. They said we're still going for it. And they went out and they traded for 4 outfielders, and they ended up making a run and going to the World Series. I mean, props to them, really. I mean, they got past the Dodgers. So, and it's probably going to end up being Dodgers Braves again, I think. But we'll have to wait and see if any of these teams are going to get upset in the playoffs. It's possible. And so, I mean, that's always going to be in the back of my head. Like, you could say, hey, these teams are going to go, but you never know. So, but yeah, I mean, listen, they're the 2 best teams. They got 2 players on both sides that are up for MVP discussion. It should be those 2 teams that are fighting to get to the World Series. And they've, they played each other in 2021, in 2020. Dodgers got the best of them in 2020, even though the Braves had a 3-1 lead and they blew it. And then the Braves beat the Dodgers the following year. And I don't remember. Was that in 5 games? I'm trying to. It escapes my mind at the moment. Let's have a look. And I typed in the thing wrong, so that doesn't help. Let's see. It was in 6 games. Okay. Right? 6 games. Yeah. Yep. It was in 6 games. I don't know why I thought it was in 5, but yeah. Give the Braves credit there because they didn't have Acuna. Dodgers were favored in that series, and they took care of business, and they ended up winning the championship. And they might be on a collision course, for the rubber match. Braves got the best of them the Dodgers got the best of the Braves in 2020. Braves got the best of them in 2021. They both won the World Series. Dodgers won in 2020. Braves won in 21. So, what's going to happen this year if these 2 teams meet again? We'll have to wait and see. So, but yeah, that's basically the talk with the National League MVP race. It's pretty close, but I think most people would agree that Ronald Acuna is going to be the favorite. So with that, we are going to take our second break of the show. I just wanted to fix that. And when we come back, we are going to talk about the American League playoff picture. We'll go over the scores revolving that from last night, and that will be the third part of the show. So stick around, and we will be right back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast.